Hey everyone, so this is a milestone 1 for the Space Invaders project, and one of the requirements that we had to do was set the screen size to 672 by 768. I changed the background color to black, and as you can see, if I run this, I do it so the screen size is set to 672 by 768. The background color is set to black. There are 3 different aliens. We have the squids, we have 2 rows of crabs, and we have 2 rows of octopuses. The alien grid is moving horizontally across the screen, and then at the edge of the screen, the grid moves down one, and then it changes horizontal direction, so now it's going the opposite direction. And the alien grid is animating and cycling between 2 images on a timer, and the animation and movement system are synchronized, so if it moves, the sprite also just changes. And I also added a new functionality so that it increases its speed as it hits, and so the delta time for the time event changes, and it decreases. It gets divided by 2 every single time it hits a wall, so which causes the animation event to go faster, so it increases speed. And I know that's in the final product, and it's not a requirement now. So in terms of managers, I have a general manager and a general D-Link. And all the work is really done in the general manager and the general D-Link. And then the container and manager classes inherit from the general manager. And then the C-Link and M-Link classes inherit from the D-Link. And they have their own respective unique methods that they do. And the image manager uses for example, an image manager inherits from the manager class, and it uses a singleton pattern. And so here we only create one instance of an image manager, and in our create method we make sure that the instance is equal to null, and if it's not, then we just skip it and we just return the image manager. And as you can see, we have all the other managers. We have the texture manager, we have a sprite batch manager, we have a sprite manager, we have a game object manager, a timer manager, and yeah. So singleton is used throughout the managers, as I said. We use an alien factory we use a factory pattern to create our aliens. So here we're creating an alien factory, and we're using the create method to create our aliens, and it's basically based on the type of alien that we're trying to create. And then once we create that alien, then we are adding it to the game object manager, and we're inserting it also into our parent-child sibling tree as a child, and then we're also adding it to the batch. We're using a proxy pattern, mainly because we're using repeated sprites, but the only thing that's changing really is the X and Y variables. So, and the sprite, proxy node, sprite node, and sprite box all inherit from the sprite base class. And so that's just so that it's not as performance heavy when we're creating the sprites on the screen. We also use the command pattern, and all the command pattern has is an abstract method for execute, and our animation sprite inherits from the command class, and it also has its execute method. And in its execute method, it's simply going through a singly linked list and changing between images, and then swapping that image, and then it's also doing the sprite movement, and also the changing its delta based on if it hits a wall, which causes it to increase its speed. We're using a parent-child sibling tree as compared to a composite pattern, like a regular tree, because it's not as good, and it would be slow to move. It's not as easy to move throughout the tree. The tree is only a height of 1 right now. I just have the alien grid, and then each of the alien grid has all the 55 aliens as children. I could make this better by adding another row, so that it would be the parent, and then the alien grid, and then the columns, and then each of the columns would have the 5 different aliens that it needs. Then we also used a priority queue pattern for our time event manager. And over here you can see that if we add a time event, we're making sure that we're removing it sorted, and that we're adding it sorted, and we use this, and the mlink class has this where it's adding it sorted based on its trigger time value, and it's comparing the link in the head, and it's making sure that the trigger time value is ordered from least to greatest, so that it goes and computes the command pattern, the execute pattern based on its time. So that's it for a priority queue. We also used a null game object, and all the null game object has is basically the update method, and it really does nothing, and that's just so that if I do create an object and it does have nothing to do, it won't crash on me. So I think that's it for this assignment, and I just wanted to add that in the general manager, if I can find it, yeah, in the general manager, all my code is done for all the managers, where the creation and destruction of objects inside the manager, the search function using the find function, and then we're adding and removing objects to the active list, and then we're pooling of objects with the reserve active list, and that's done through creating the reserve pool, and then also releasing the stats of the objects, and then and then again, in our main function, we're setting it up, and we're creating all the managers. We're loading the textures, we're creating the images, the sprites, the sprite badge, and then here we can see our parent-child sibling tree, the alien tree. Then we're adding the alien factory, creating the alien factory, and we're setting the parent of the alien we're setting the parent to the alien tree, and then the alien grid also is added, and it becomes, and we set it to parent, and then we add all the children. And then we're creating the animation sprite events, we're adding it to the time manager, and then we're updating it, and then all we do in our update is just do time manager update, and then it goes through all the time events, which are the animation events, and it goes through this, and then it computes the sprite change, the image swap, and also the sprite movement. Okay, I think that's everything for Milestone 1. There's still a lot to do for to complete this project, but this is just a starting point.